So we just started our new chapter, which was nervous coordination or nervous coordination system. So today it will be second video. Introduction was done. So let's see what are receptors as transducers. This is quite a small, not very important topic, but it's still, if it's in our book, we need to cover it out. Receptors. So first thing you should know none about what are receptors. So first thing, receptor, those this means they are biological transducers. Now if you're thinking what does this transducers means, transducer means anything from one form to another. So transducer, this means they're biological transducer. They convert energy from what? They convert energy from external and internal environment. Internal and external environment, in the form of what? In the form of electrical impulse, because our neurons and they all work when the electrical impulse have been provided to them. So this means receptor are those which can sense our out, either that if there's a receptor of eye, this means if you have pain and something, if someone is like hold our hand, this means we can feel that. So eye, in the receptor our all sense can be included. So let's see what's written in our book. So first thing, detection of energy of a stimuli by sensory cells. Most sensory receptors specialized by neuron or epithelial cells exist single or in a group with other cells within sensory organs such as eye and ear. So this means they are the one which help in detection of energy. That can be done in the single or the group, but they should be having some specialized neurons. Either they are made up of epithelials, either they are epithelial cells, or even they exist in single or group form. The best example could be eye and ears, these all. And even one more point is written that all receptors are transducer. This means all can convert from one energy to another, to one form to another. So transducer is structure that converts signal from one form to another. This means anything here energy is going to be converted to electrical impulse, so that's called as transducers. On the type of every they detect transduce receptor fall into 5 categories. So we have 5 main categories. First one you'll see called as mechanoreceptors, which means they are stimulated by physical deformation, either that's caused by stimuli as a pressure, touch, stretch, motion, sound, all forms of mechanical energy. So what I believe I would have written that, so I'll just back and write all. So here comes all 5 receptors. Hopefully you'll understand it very nicely. So first one called as mechanoreceptor. Mechanoreceptor, this means any physical appearance, and receptor are those which we can feel it out. So touch, pain, not pain, because for pain we have another receptor. Touch, pressure, these all comes in mechanoreceptors, which we can feel it out and provide stimuli is generated. Then comes nurses receptor, which means when we have pain receptors are basically termed as, because they generate stimuli against the problem. Then comes thermoreceptor. Thermo means heat or temperature. So heat, cold receptor, if there's change in outside environment, so our body temperature is 37 Celsius, so they need to manage it accordingly so that it could not increase. So if you might have seen, if our body temperature is 37, but when it comes outside temperature, if it's quite hot, so our body starts sweating. This means it's going to release sweat, right? So that's because our body is trying to manage it out. Then comes second last, which is chemioreceptor, which means when total solute is present in a solution and they'll generate a stimuli. Here comes osmoreceptor. Osmo is something when external condition is managed, like external internal condition both are managed, and they look into things like they're managing, either that's by sweating, either that's by managing, either that's by not only changing by temperature of body but changing external environment. So as I told you about the sweat and these on, so here the total solute in blood would be changed, either that's balancing. Even this is read by the brain part called as hypothalamus. So let's read, then you'll understand it more nicely. So here we have first one, mechanoreceptor is situated by physical deformation, pressure, touch, stretch, motion, sound, all forms of mechanical energy. Then comes pain receptor, which are called as nocic receptors. A stimuli cause tissue damage or preserved as a pain, that's called as nocic receptors. Then comes receptor that transmit impulse as a pain. The same then comes thermoreceptor, which means the receptor body temperature by signaling both surface and body core. This means either that's heat or cold. They help in regulation of body temperature by signaling both surface and body core temperature. Then comes another one, which is chemoreceptor, which means these receptors transform information about the total solid concentration in a solution and a specific receptor that respond to individual of every kind of molecule. Then comes osmoreceptor, which means in human brain hypothalamus, which detect changes in the total solid concentration of the blood and stimulate. So whenever we just feel thirsty, whenever osmolarity increase, chemoreceptor found in nasal epithelium or olfactory, I mean now we can feel if there's quite a bad smell, so we can just feel it out by the hypothalamus because the receptor. Chemoreceptor, which is found in tongue for tasters, and gustatory receptors, so this means that's going to be found. And yes, I forgot to mention one more receptor, which is called as photoreceptor. Photoreceptor are those which detect light stimuli and organize in eyes, rods and cones. Rods is this one structure and cones is this one structure which is present in the eye. So whenever we just try to focus more, so this means we are trying to make activate our cones are one. If our book is here and we are trying to read what's written, happy, sad and something, so of course we need to turn our face even on this side. If we are looking here and reading over it, that's not possible. So when we look on the same thing and try to read out, this means we are focusing on our cones so that we can read it nicely. Of course, if we have gotten this receptor, this sensations, we should always work on it. Okay, then comes all sensory input from receptor are received by the central nervous system. They collect information, further proceed and do such things. And there is a special type of neurons called as interneurons, which means disconnect one neuron to another. Right, then comes the effectors, quite small, so I'll just love to explain it here. Effectors are those which simply if just it's quite small outside, this means you are going to affect, you have just feel it out, and our brain have told our body that if you just smell outside, our nose going to send signal to brain, and when brain get the signal, that's called as sensory nerve. So this means sensory nerve taking our signals to brain, and from brain the change comes. This means they're saying you to hold your nose or run away from that position. So this means that's response is basically created by effectors, and the one who bring information from brain to our body part, that's called as motor nerves. So I hope it will be clear. Is also same definition. I hope effectors are generally muscles or gland. Yes, effectors could be any change of either the muscle or gland. An effector which produce a response to stimuli. Effectors receive command from the central nervous system to produce a response. So as I mentioned, but I told you entirely. So I hope it will be clear. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.